Hi, I'm James.
Hi, I'm Stuts.
No, you have to do it faster than that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, like, so I say, hi, I'm James.
Yeah.
No, you don't say yet, you just say, so, let's do it again. So,
Oh.
right, so... It's his first time, guys. So,
Wait a minute. It's sad, you know what, this is like the auto cue, guys, where the guy's reading the auto cue says,
exactly.
Look to your left.
Right, so, you ready?
Yeah.
Right. Hi, I'm James.
Hi, I'm Stuts.
And this is Hotspur Way. Right, so in today's episode, what we've talked about is the magnificent point against Real Madrid. What else?
The upcoming Liverpool game.
And I think that's it.
And Sissoko.
Sissoko?
Sissoko.
You've just gone all supernatural on that, haven't
I've
you?
gone supernatural and surreal.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, it's an inside joke. None of you will get it.
Okay.
Enjoy the show.
Hello.
Here we go again. So, first ever Hotspur Way show. How do you feel about it?
Oh, nervous, mate, obviously. You know me, I like to talk, but it's completely different when I know other people are actually listening this time, where as opposed to just being in a pub and talking twaddle.
Nonsense. Yeah, exactly. Well, let's get right into it. I'm sure that we'll probably go over who we are and our life stories or whatever. Terribly boring in future episodes, but let's talk about Real Madrid. So we watched it together at yours.
Yep.
And when you saw the lineup, what did you initially think?
I just think that everybody was thinking, oh, he's going for a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
And then we were all just shocked. Not necessarily shocked, but we were shocked. We didn't realise that he was going to bring his Sissoko in as well. And that we didn't think that Davis was going to be missing because he was only supposed to have an illness.
Yeah. So,
looking back on it now, we should have realised that he was going to play that formation, perhaps. I don't know. Yeah, because he's always conned us for Pochettino, and he's such a great tactician. And the main reason why we did so well, I believe, is because of the two up front.
Did you see how they were sort of like interchanging their positions, weren't they?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why the difference is, because now Real had something different to think about in defence.
Yeah.
Normally they would have had just one player coming on to them, so they probably practiced that all week, thinking, okay, it's only going to be Kane. We'll leave two people marking him or somebody dropping off and picking him up, just stick to him and so on. Now they've got two players, and both similar in the sense that they can both head the ball and hold the ball up. Made it changed it completely, which is why even in the balance in the game, you look at what happened with the midfield. I felt like we not necessarily controlled it, but we certainly held our own against one of the best midfields in the world.
Well, do you know what I think happened? Like everyone who watches Spurs and has heard all the rhetoric about Sissoko, I think what happened was Zidane said, right, you've got to keep Eriksen out of the game, and I think to a large extent they did.
First half.
Yeah, they did. First half, they sort of kept him out of the game, and there was a point where I think you turned to me and you said, is he on the pitch? Is he playing?
Yeah.
But they didn't think about Sissoko, did they? Do you remember that flick? Do you remember me going on and on about that flick?
Okay.
I thought, what is this? Who is this player? And it's what I said to you before the game. He might be one of those players that just turns up for these massive games. And him and Oreo on the right-hand side really worked. And especially towards the end, when there were massive gaps that were opening, weren't there?
Well, if we're going to be talking about Sissoko, what did I say to you? He's Carlton Palmer. He's Carlton Palmer. He was a player, Carlton Palmer, brought into the England setup for one tournament. Everybody was like going, who the hell, what? We never saw anything coming from him. And the same with Sissoko at the beginning of the year, well, when he first came to us, we just thought, oh, what a waste of 30 mil. And then all of a sudden, when it comes to these big games, he seems to be, turning it on.
Yeah.
And he just out of nothing, he wouldn't have expected him. Defenders are marking him. They don't know what he's going to do. He doesn't seem to know what he's going to do. And even from the Bournemouth game, the cross that he gave Kane, which was offside, but he took the ball, went past the player, went to cross it. The defender blocked it so easily. It was so obvious what he was going to do. But then chipped it in again perfectly.
Yeah.
So he's like, as you say, I don't know if it's the big game mentality or whether it's just, there was something I read actually this week that he's got such a great friendship with Aurier that he feels more comfortable in the team now.
Maybe.
Perhaps. I mean, I know players work and play on confidence. And if you've got, your best mate there behind you, you're going to feel a little bit more relaxed. You're going to try something you don't normally. Your concentration's a little bit better. And I think that's basically down to it. Most of it, that as well. And also, don't forget, last year, he didn't really have much for pre-season.
No.
So his fitness levels may not have been there to what we require for the current way the team is playing.
I just think he's one of those players that does well in the big games, but I think that he needs to feel loved, because I don't know if he felt loved when he was at the Euros in 2016, but he played really well there, and
he was playing for his national side.
So okay, but it's still,
slightly different.
We're talking about a player who seemed like a ball beater, so a player that signed for us, and whenever we went near the ball, I thought he was either going to fall over or miss kick it. I
slightly disagree with you there, because even with Newcastle, before he came to us, there were Newcastle fans who were saying that he was playing one game, not playing other games, and that's why they weren't so disappointed to lose him, because there were games where he would just completely disappear. He wasn't even named there. That's from what I've heard previously, before we bought him. And I don't think it has anything to do... I think it is to do with confidence, and like you say, that it's being loved. But I don't think when he was at the Euros, he was playing with his mates. They're players that he's known. They grew up together in the French setup. The French do that. They bring their players through the systems, as opposed to other countries, and perhaps England until now, they're starting to bring players up from the under-21s and so on. But regardless of that, for Spurs, I think it was mostly just down to that the lack of fitness, knowing about the setup of the team, and now feeling a hell of a lot more confident, and also being given the trust by Pochettino, because we all thought he was going at the beginning of at the end of the transfer window, and he didn't go. Pochettino must have sat him down and said, "Look, I don't want to let you go. I spent some money on you. I want you to prove yourself. I've got all confidence in you, and I'm not going to build a team around you, but I'm going to give you a chance." And I think that's what's made the difference.
Yeah, I think with him, I'm one of those people that Pochettino can do whatever he wants, really, and I'll just say, right, I have faith in you. And there was a point though with me where I thought that he was only playing him to put him in the shop window, even though the transfer window had closed, and I thought, there's no way that this guy is, let's say, amazing in training, and then he's sewing up what we're seeing. For instance, I took my other half when I was in the UK. We went to go and see Chelsea and Burnley. So we were watching Burnley, and she's not really a football fan. And she even pointed him out and said, what is that player doing on the pitch? She was talking about Sissoko. So that was just in August. Okay, that wasn't that long ago. And he kept playing him, transfer window closed, and he kept playing him. And then, I think it was about 2 or 3 games ago, where he started to perform. I can't remember which game it was, where he actually started to perform. Mm-hmm. The Bournemouth game, I didn't really watch because we didn't get any proper streams in the pub. So for those listening, we're actually in Cyprus, Spurs fans in Cyprus, and we forgot to mention who we are. I'm Jaymes.
And I'm Stuts.
Yeah, there you go.
For sure.
And so we're both in Nicosia, massive Spurs fans, and so it's happened in the last few games where he's started to believe. It's like the Matrix with Neo. He's started to believe in whatever it is, and I think that he's going to get stronger and stronger.
I don't know about whether he was being put in the shop window, because Pochettino's done it with other players as well, with Janssen. He tried to give him. I think Pochettino's a sort of coach who wants to give a player a chance. He bought him for a reason. He saw something in the first place. He wouldn't have just agreed to Daniel Levy saying, yeah, buy whoever you want, and I'll just stick him in whenever I feel like it. No, I think he has to have agreed with Levy. There is something about this player that I can see, and I can see that he can fit. Either it's his fitness levels, it's his teamwork, it's his team's, I don't know, something that he can use or create from. The same with the kids. Look at Winks.
Yeah.
Amazing now. Last year he came into the team, we all thought, wow, this player's going to be a good little player. Then he got the injury, and we thought, oh no, is that going to be like, I've forgotten the guy's name now, Tom that Carroll. We saw. No, not Tom Carroll, the other one who, Played for England as well. Had a bad injury last.
Mason.
That's it, like Ryan Mason. And he just went off injured, didn't he? Came back and he drifted away. He just didn't seem the same player. I wondered whether this was going to happen with Winks as well and whether we get the chance. But Winks has just come on leaps and bounds. It's unbelievable now. Even like all the pundits on the telly are just like talking about Winks.
Yeah. I think the great thing about him is that he's a great recycler of the ball, but he's always looking for that forward pass. He's not just
not always.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think he just gives it away though.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't give the ball away.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not always forward.
I thought he was going to be another Tom Carroll. I did. I just thought he was going to be another Tom Carroll, sideways, in and out, comfortable, doesn't leave a comfort zone, but he's going for it. And I think that we've got a lot more to come from Winks. I think
the difference between the two of them is energy. Winks has a lot more energy than Tom Carroll.
Yeah.
You see, he never stops. Tom Carroll used to get lost in games. You'd see him, he'd perform well when the ball came near him and so on. But Winks gets around that park. He's putting in tackles on the edge of a penalty area. Next minute, he's up on the flank, putting tackles in or getting a pass in or knocking it down the line. And he's also trying to get into the box sometimes.
Yeah.
This is like, he's not really a box-to-box player, but he can do if he's got the energy for it, and he's just performing.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a lot more from him. I think that what Poch will probably say to him is next season, I want you to try and get 5 to 10 goals within that bracket.
Possibly.
Because I think he needs to start adding. He needs to play more games, obviously, but I think he will, because Dembele seems to. I don't know what's happened. He seems to have picked up some sort of foot injury.
He's going to be back, Dembele, and I believe that actually Winks is going to be his ultimate replacement.
Yeah, I think so.
Firstly, and in that case, then Dembele's not exactly a renowned scorer, is he?
No.
He probably gets 2-3 per season, if that, sometimes. So I don't think there'll be an onus on Winks to get that many goals. The modern football now, you've got your holding midfielders, which are the two that will set up the play, and then you've got your stars, say the creative players, Son, Dele.
Yeah.
Kane, Ericsson, and Nkoudou if he's going to come in, and so on. Who they're the ones that you're expecting goals from. The other two, Dyer and Winks, I think they'll be just expected to keep that ball moving, get the tackles in, put the pressure on the other position, and that's what their game's going to be.
So then going on a bit of a tangent, what happens if we sign Barkley? Isn't that a bit of a slap in the face to someone like Winks? Because if we can believe what we've been hearing, Barkley isn't going to be played in the number 10 role. He'll be a, let's say, inverted quotes, Dembele replacement. But if we're saying that Winks seems to be that replacement, why do we need Barkley?
Because maybe he won't be. Maybe he'll be a Dele Alli replacement eventually. I do not know. Maybe he'll keep the two of them playing together for now. You know what our team's like. We try to keep ahead of the groove. So we'll always buy a player ready for when we're going to sell somebody in a year's time. We don't just sell someone and then look for replacements.
Yeah.
Preferably. Right, there are times when we've done that with Gareth Bale, for example, famously, and then we buy almost 6-7 misfits to try and fill his boots. But with with other players, we've tried to bring somebody in who will eventually take over from this other player, because maybe we'll sell the other person on for a profit. I don't know. But I think what you could end up having is that he'll rotate him between playing instead of Winks, he'll rotate him playing instead of Ericsson, and keep him playing instead of Ali. He can fit into any of those roles, and you need to have a squad. Yeah. If we're going to be touted as we are now, rightfully, top 5 in Europe, currently on form and so on. I read an article today that one particular pundit said that he put us in the top 5 in Europe at the moment, behind, even ahead of Real, by the way. It was Barcelona, City, United, Tottenham were in there. I can't remember the 5th. So
PSG, maybe?
PSG, that's right, yeah. PSG were 4th. No, So it was Barcelona, PSG, Man City, PSG, United, and then us. Which I read it and I thought was a bit interesting, but I don't think we're there in the top 5. But we're certainly, on current form and the way we've played in the Champions League so far, in the top 10.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So we need a squad of players. Look at the injuries we've suffered this year. How many top key players that we were saying at the weekend, weren't we? It's going to be like having a whole new load of new signings coming back. Lamela coming back, Rose coming back, Dembele coming back, Wanyama coming back. That's 4 new signings practically from the beginning of the season.
I forgot about Wanyama.
Well, there you go.
I've actually forgotten about him. Where is he?
He's still injured.
What's wrong with him? I've not heard anything.
It was. I'm not sure. Was it his knee or his back? One of the two.
I don't know. Better look into it. Right, so I've got to ask you this. I was there when we scored. How did you feel when it was 1-1 and then Llorente put through Kane for that? Sure, it had to go in. How were you feeling right then?
Well, we were both out of our seats, weren't we?
Yeah.
We just thought, it's a foregone conclusion. There's no way he's going
to score.
Exactly.
How did he not score?
And we thought that he actually put it wide.
Yeah, it was a great save.
But it wasn't. It's just one of those things, isn't it? I mean, right, in hindsight, you could say, oh, well, he could have lifted it a tiny bit, would have gone over his head. But he did everything right. And the goalkeeper, it's just one of those things.
Which segues then into Lloris, because a lot of people have been on his back this season, I think.
He's not been the best of forms.
He hasn't.
But he's always been there when we need him.
Yeah, and I tell you what, some of those saves that he pulled off, phenomenal. And you know what? I was waiting for the media to start saying stuff about him, because you've got De Gea who farts and is in the press. No one really said anything about Lloris, other than Lineker and maybe 1 or 2 others. I didn't really see anyone rant and rave about him. And I don't get it. I don't understand that narrative.
What's saying that he
was outstanding and amazing?
But they have been.
Oh, have they?
Oh, yeah, I've been reading articles. Everybody's been saying he was our best performer. That people did say that him and Winks were the 2 best players on the pitch.
Oh, I don't know.
For Spurs.
Vertonghen was...
Yeah, I'd agree. Well, Vertonghen didn't... Oh, you didn't see him against Bournemouth. No. Vertonghen was a Superman against Bournemouth.
Was he?
Unbelievable. He was anything he was doing. The crosses he were putting in.
What was he?
Beckham.
Back?
He was playing left back. Yeah, left wing back. I mean, Beckham wouldn't have put the crosses that he was putting in. He was just amazing. If the guy had any pace, I'm telling you, he would be one of the best left wingers in the world. If he had pace. But he's a bit cumbersome.
If you remember a few years ago, a couple of seasons ago, he would make those runs. Do you remember? He would take the ball and he would make those runs. And he scored one against United, I remember, doing a run like that, and then it came in off the post. I think, though, the point that we got against Real Madrid was unbelievable. I think it was fantastic. And the fact that we could have gone on to win was great as well. You know, I started to believe at the end, I kept saying to you, do you remember, they're opening up, Real Madrid are opening up because they're going for it.
They were tiring.
Don't do that against us, though, because we're the type of team that will hit you on the break, and we should have won the game.
Well,
I think towards the end.
That was something you mentioned, that they were tiring, yeah. But also, didn't we also mention, though, that before the game started, we do ride our luck.
Yeah.
And we've got to be thankful for that. I mean, most teams do.
Yeah.
I mean, that football is a game of chance as well as being solid and so on. And we like to play a nice open game, even when we're trying to hold the opposition. We're not parking a bus a la Mourinho. So against Dortmund, they created so many chances and could have scored. They had one that was disallowed that was definitely a goal. This game as well, in the first few minutes, Ronaldo hitting the post from a header. The save from Lloris, as we were cracking up about, if he'd have put it in the corner, it'd have been a goal. Well, yeah, of course it would. But then again, Kane had the chance as well when he had the header bounced up and the goalkeeper saved it again as well.
And we had a Stonewall penalty shout out.
Had a Stonewall penalty. Yeah, I know that was well. We had the luck of the replay. When I remember thinking back, I didn't think it was a penalty at the time. Initially, when it happened, I thought he fell over because it didn't seem that bad. But then when I look back on it, Yeah, definitely was a
It
penalty.
was a high challenge. It was.
Yeah. But at the time
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
looked like
yeah,
at the time it looked like he just because they were all scrambling around for the ball. It looked like he just sort of tried to fall over to try and get the penalty. It wasn't until afterwards.
So what do you say to all these stupid gooners, because Cyprus is full of them, the stupid scum that say, "Oh, you lot are acting like you've won the league or something. When's the DVD going to be out?"
Couldn't care less.
I couldn't care less either, because they're playing tonight apparently, aren't they? It's Thursday night.
Yeah, they're
going
going
to Channel 5. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, Emmerdale's not on tonight. Have you seen that?
Is that no?
Oh, there's a song that came out. We're at the Bernabeu. You're watching Emmerdale.
That doesn't rhyme. That's quite terrible.
No, well, the way they were singing, I didn't listen to it properly, but they were like, "This is what they're being chanted on the at the Bernabeu." That they were saying to him, just shouting out, "We're at the Bernabeu. You're watching Emmerdale. We're at the Bernabeu." Something like that.
I mean, who are they even playing? Do you even know who they're playing? Probably
Yeah, but that
cheeky girls
let's
I
not
have no idea.
let's not be too critical, because the last few years we've been doing this
but
same.
it's our time now.
Yeah, exactly.
And
fair
and
enough.
They can't take it.
I've not met. All right, thankfully I don't mix with them anyway.
I should come
So,
down to the meeting probably Larnaca.
oh, thank God, I don't need
Oh,
to.
goodness
Thank you
sake.
very much. No, thankfully the guys at work, they're quite mature and adult about it, and we can have a good old banter. And they've been saying, they're waiting for the bubble to burst for us. I have to say that. They're thinking that this isn't going to last, but they're also so sick that they just don't see any progress with their side. But that's just, we're not talking about them anyway.
No,
I don't think we should talk about them.
no.
Let's talk about
But
us.
it's just I was so sick and tired, because there is an Arsenal fan at work who, he was basically saying, "Oh, well, have you ordered the DVD yet?" What are we talking about?
Yeah,
you should get the DVD. It's it sees you drawing at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid in a pointless game. Well, it's not pointless, because I think 2 more points. So basically, a winner gets Applewell.
Yeah.
And we're through.
3 points guarantees us.
Yeah.
Another 2 points, nigh on, guarantees us. Well, actually, would do, wouldn't it? Because Dortmund would have only got then, if they beat Real and Abuel, they'd be on 7. Another draw would put them at an 8. We would have 9. So we've qualified.
Right. Okay. And
Even with 2 points.
there's a chance that we can win the group as well.
There is. Why are we top of the group, by the way? Is it
We're
on
not-
goals scored?
No, we're not though, because it
We're
depends.
We're exactly the same result, aren't we?
No, because Real Madrid scored 4 against Apoel. So I think the goal difference they should be.
So they should be above us.
Yeah, I don't understand what was going on, because different media outlets were putting them top and then us top, and I
Okay.
don't know. Right, so we've got the home game against Liverpool coming up.
No,
Yeah.
don't talk about that one. Oh,
So-
we have to talk about that one.
We have to talk about it, and the fact is that actually did some research. I can't believe it, but we actually did. The last time we beat Liverpool was on the 28th of November 2012. That was when Lennon and Bale were in their pomp. Both of them scored, and in fact Liverpool didn't score in that game, because the own goal, if you remember, I think Gareth went to kick the ball away, hit him in the face and went in.
Yeah.
Liverpool did. And so that's been years. That's nearly 5 years without beating Liverpool, and I can't stand them as a football club.
It's becoming a Chelsea hoodoo, a United hoodoo,
Yeah.
that we've got these teams that we have a hoodoo.
And Jurgen Klopp as well, he seems to...
Although saying that,
Well,
I think recent results between Klopp and Pochettino, it's been
been draws, basically.
all draws, yeah. So we haven't been losing to them either. Not like we were heavily
I don't know if
before.
Did we lose one against Liverpool in recent times?
I think in the
I think
last...
we did. I think we
Yeah,
did.
with Poch, I think we've lost 1, and then the rest have been draws.
Yeah, but it seems like Klopp has got Pochettino's number. It's like...
But if he had his number, then he'd be beating us every time, but he's not. I think they're
Yeah, but I think
both
we've got
playing
a-
the same
but I think
style.
we've got a better 11. I think
We've got a better... Well, I don't know about better 11. I think we've got a
Really?
better defence than them.
Hold on a minute. Who would you? So let's just go through the teams, okay? Would you have Lloris or would you have Mignolet?
Obviously, goalkeeper would be...
Right, and when you
without
look
saying.
at
Defence
this-
goes without saying.
Right, so defence goes without saying. Even with Ben Davies there, who's done great, I would still have Davis ahead of Milner. I would still have
Yeah.
ahead of
Well,
other
Milner's not
teams.
playing. It's Damian, or whatever it is. Is it Damian?
No,
Matteo?
Matteo?
Not Matteo,
Like
no.
30 years ago.
Some Spanish guy. I've forgotten his name now.
Moreno, you mean?
Moreno, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't put any of their players in our defence, right?
Matip, I might.
Ahead of Alderweireld or
But-
Tongan or Sanchez?
No, ahead of Sanchez, perhaps.
You wouldn't,
because of
come
the
on.
experience. Sanchez is a great player and he's
no.
going to be a great player. But remember, I was telling you at the game as well, during the game, that he's so Ledley King-like in the style that he runs, his physique, his walk even looks like Ledley King, but he hasn't got the intelligence of and the reading of the game. Although he did do really well after, against, I think it was against Bournemouth. He was getting lost. Oh no, it was a Swansea game. That's right, against a Swansea game. He was completely getting lost. He was getting pulled out, taken apart at some stages of the game. He recovered and got better as the game went on. Whereas Matip, I believe, is a very, very good player. And I would, at present, put Matip in ahead of Sanchez.
I'll give you that one. So if we look at their midfield then, Liverpool seem to just have loads of midfielders.
Okay.
Right, so...
Henderson, Coutinho, I would definitely have in our side.
You would have Henderson?
Yeah.
Who?
Over Dyer.
Would you?
Yeah, because Dyer, he's great defensively. He will cover into the back four, but his creativity isn't as good as Henderson. Even though Henderson got ripped apart for the Indian games because he was all sideways passing, I think with Liverpool he's a completely different kind of player.
Right, and so what you're saying is you would have Coutinho replace Eriksen because they play. In
Most definitely.
You would replace Eriksen with Coutinho?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I wouldn't.
I would, because Coutinho is a flair player. Eriksen is a metronome.
Yeah, but I think that's what our team needs.
It is what we need, but we also
need
need a flair player, why would we keep going on about buying Isco and so on? Everybody's saying we need a playmaker. We need somebody who's going to do something out of the ordinary, and Coutinho does give you that.
Yeah, but could Coutinho work in a Pochettino system? Would he? Would he track back? Would he do the running that's required? See, I think to have that flair, you can't then.
Well, I would replace.
I
would replace. Well, I don't know if I'd replace Ali with Coutinho because I'd have Ali ahead of Firmino.
Ali scores.
Yeah, Ali's been this season. He's not been himself. I don't know what's going on. If his head has been turned, if it's his new agent that he's going to be getting along, whether it's his family stuff, whether he's been hyped up so much that it's gone to his head. I don't know. He seems to be, and actually more to the point, I think it's that people have worked him out a bit more now, with the old little flicks, the little through the legs and so on, and they're not giving him that time and space to be able to do that.
You say currently. That, and I agree with you that he's not had the best of seasons, but he's still assisted 2 or 3, and he scored 3 goals. So it's not like he's a bad player.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you're saying, but I still think that I would have him over Coutinho. Coutinho, don't get me wrong, is a fantastic player, and I would love to see him at Spurs. I would have loved. If we had 120 million, I would have him.
Well, you need more than 20 million.
Yeah, you would. But I'm trying to think who he would actually replace, and that's what I was talking about Barkley earlier. So I don't.
He'd replace Son.
But Son's not in the team. Coutinho would have to be a staple of that team. Who would he come in for? You're not going to dislodge Kane. Okay, you're not going to get rid of Dele. I don't think you are.
I would interchange the two of them, if not replace Dele with Coutinho at the moment, personally.
Would you?
Coutinho can score you goals from free kicks, which Eriksen was doing. Seems to have forgotten how to do it now. Seems to have forgotten.
The first man, doesn't it?
Seems to have forgotten how to put a cross in. Seems to have forgotten how to take corners. Apart from against the Real Madrid game, he was putting some great crosses in. Up until that, he wasn't doing it. Trippier's been taking over recently from the right hand side, taking corners. I think even Ben Davies is it who's been taking the left side ones because he's just not been doing it. So Coutinho can score from anywhere. He can put those little balls in that Eriksen can do. And I think he would be just marginally ahead for me, ahead of Eriksen, Coutinho. Wouldn't be much in it.
Right.
And I would hate to lose Eriksen, but if I had a choice between the two, I would definitely go for Coutinho.
And who else would you have on the Liverpool side?
So who else did we say so
Like
far?
Firmino.
No, forget the others.
Forget the others. So it would basically be Henderson, Matip, and Coutinho.
Henderson, Matip, Coutinho, and Sané.
What about Salah?
And Salah even, yeah.
Sané plays for City, by the way. You mean
Sané. Mane, sorry,
Sané,
yeah.
Mane.
Yeah, Sadio
Right,
Mane.
now, Mane,
Yeah.
apparently we were going to buy him. Do you remember that? And he would have been, I think, the missing link.
Yeah.
He, I would have in our side, but don't ask me who he would replace. I don't know.
Well, he'd replace Son, and he would replace Ali, definitely. I think he would definitely be ahead of Ali. Guarantees you goals.
Not 20 a season though.
Oh, most definitely in our side he would.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Well, how many goals did he score last season for Liverpool?
I don't know.
It was near the 20 mark, and don't forget he was injured for quite a while, and also he had the African Cups. I think he was away for that as well.
Yeah.
So I think Mane is a very, very good player, and Salah I would have in the squad.
I'll definitely have Salah in the squad. Yeah.
He's
I've
like
always
a
thought he was
Lennon.
a great player.
Yeah.
Remember when he tore us a new one when he was playing for Basel?
Yeah, did he?
In the.
That's the thing, when we were playing in that
Europa
Europa League thing, the only reason I was watching the games was to see who can we buy him at this team, who can we buy at that team, and he was one of them.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
He was absolutely outstanding. And again,
Never got a chance to
we were
Chelsea.
linked, and then, of course, because we were linked, Chelsea went and got him and ruined him like they did for City players. Okay, so if we do look at the starting 11, I still think that we have a better all-round 11.
Exactly, because
Right.
I'm sort of a person who likes to build from the back anyway.
Yeah.
I want to have a solid defence because unless you can keep the ball out, doesn't matter. I mean, we're not doing an Aussie Ardiles team, love him as I do. We'll just try and score more than we actually let in. I think as long as we get the solidity at the back, then we'll be able to build forward.
And they're going to be without Mane,
Definitely.
which is great. Who else are they without? I think that's it. That's the.
There was something, I didn't actually read the article, that there was someone else that was a doubt, but basically there's going to be probably Mignolet, Matip, and what's his name in defence? Portuguese, Lovren. Left back, probably be the young kid, will it?
What, Marino?
No, the young British player, English player. Is that or is he right back? Gomez, possibly, yeah.
It's a good player, actually.
Yeah, and Marino. Then in the middle, he'll have Henderson, Coutinho, Salah, and another, but I can't think who else they've got. And then up front would be Firmino. So up front, I think we've got
They don't
them.
have any strikers, do they? Other than Sturridge.
They've got Sturridge, yeah, but I don't think he'll start with Sturridge. I think he'll bring him off the bench. But up front, I think we've got them controlled. All right, they've got speed, they've got pace, which is always scary, regardless of who you're playing.
That's the thing. They do have pace.
So, and they on the break, they're as good as we are. I won't say better, but as good as we are.
And I think they're better. I think because they've got faster players.
They have, but speed
Mane,
doesn't
they've got
always.
faster players.
Yeah, with Mane, but not now, not currently, not with this team.
And not with Danny Rose in our central or midfield. You know.
Do you think he's going to play into?
No, I don't
They're
know
debating
where he's
it. People are debating it now. Will they be giving Danny Rose a different position and playing central left midfield?
Oh, for goodness sake! No, we need a left back, don't we? We don't have a.
Well, I think Davis has been on song.
Is he still well? I don't know what's happening.
If he's obviously, if he's well.
No, if he's fit, then
I wouldn't put
quite happy
Rose
with
in now at left wing back. He needs to get his fitness
not
back.
against
Liverpool.
Salah.
No.
Not a chance.
No. I would have Vertonghen in there, do a bit of acting, pretend that Salah's smacked him in the mouth or something, get him sent off.
He's going to need protection, though.
Of course he will.
Going to need protection.
Of course he will.
And then we come on to the Wembley problems. I don't care about this hoodoo that it's over. I watched us against Chelsea. I watched us against Burnley. I was there. First of all, there is zero atmosphere at Wembley. You cannot get started. Absolutely can't get started. You've been at White Hart Lane when it's rocking. I have as well. Yeah. Okay, you can't get it going at an events stadium for some reason. You just can't. And it's not just that. I was sat for the Chelsea game. I was sat behind the goal where Lloris was in the second half. So I don't know what's Dan. That I can't remember which one it was. And then for Burnley, I was sat on the side, basically. I was sat on the... had a great view, actually. But you've got people that want to sing, and they're trying to G up everyone else, and it's like you've got family members dotted in amongst ultras, and then people just turning up for the day, and it's a big problem. And now there's news that we may not finish the new White Hart Lane when they're supposed to finish.
I think the Wembley problem is not down to the crowd, personally.
What is it down to then?
It's the size of the pitch, which we weren't allowed to change.
I disagree.
Your vision.
Yeah.
When you can see a long ball, you look up and you see a player so far away. You get used to how to do a long field ball, for example.
Yeah.
You look at how many crosses, the amazing Alderweireld long balls, the Dyer ones, the Vertonghen ones that we were doing at White Hart Lane last year. How many of those are actually going to the player now this year at Wembley? Okay. They're all going flying off the pitch. Number one.
Right, I get that, but let me just counter that argument. We played against Leicester at the King Power last year, one of the last games of the season. Mm-hmm. We won 6-2, was it, I think?
Okay.
It's the same size pitch as Wembley. We played against Newcastle.
But the stadium is close. Sorry, the stands are closer to the pitch.
So you think it's all about markers?
No, it's not. No, I'm not saying that's all about. I'm saying your vision just gets confused. Remember with the United when they had the grey shirts and they couldn't find a player? Yeah. Silly little things like that, but they do make a difference. If you're used to playing certain weight of ball and so on, and you're looking up and you see a player there, okay, you're going to knock it over. And you're going to either judge you how far away from the stand you're giving the ball or from the edge of the line, because you can't see the line.
Okay,
yeah?
So
that's one reason. But the other main reason...
I need to ask you, before you get to your main reason, if that is one of the reasons, when is that going to be ironed out? Because the problem we have is we're moving into a new stadium that has the same size pitch as Wembley, and that means that we're going to have to also spend a year there, or maybe 2 years before we get accustomed to it.
Well, yes, definitely, but the edge of the pitch will be closer to the stands. It won't have that huge gap that it has at Wembley. There's a big, I don't know if it's a running track or not, but there's a big space between the edge of the pitch and to the stands at the moment.
Did we beat West Ham at the London Stadium?
Yes.
Right, okay.
But we've not done well there.
Their supporters are in a different postcode to where the pitch is. Okay?
Yeah. And look at how well they're playing, or had been playing there. When they first moved there, they couldn't do anything. Yeah, but it just literally, honestly, for the professional player and for a player who play, it does make a difference. But I don't say that's the only reason.
So what's the
I'm just saying
reason?
one of the reasons. Primary reason is that, two things. One, that teams, when they get to Wembley, other than your big five, are going there for the first time. These are players that have never been to Wembley before. They're going to turn on their performance. They're going to play harder. Second reason is, they're not going to come out to attack us like we were last year. We were catching a lot of teams out on the break and so on, and we played pace. We are not playing with any pace.
No,
if you see any game, all the games that we've had at Wembley in the Premier League, at least, all the teams are sitting back, and we've got to try to break them down. And what are we doing? Sideways balls, but no penetrating balls.
Yeah.
We're not. I think we need to start shooting from outside the box a lot more, forcing the defenders to come out, maybe even letting the defenders on the opposition side. This is what happened with Bournemouth. We let the opposition have the ball, and then we suddenly attacked those defenders. They were making mistakes, and we created all our chances.
Yeah. One thing that I was trying in inverted commas, watch the game at the meeting pub and on Saturday, and before the stream completely went, what I turned around and said to some of the guys there was that the way that we play at Wembley reminds me of the best of AVB and also the beginning of Poch's reign, where it was a bit turgid, it was a bit sideways, there is no pace, and I don't get it. I don't understand what it is, if it's in their heads, if it really is in their heads, because I don't think Poch is saying to them, this is how I want you to play, and I don't think it's the opposition making a blowout. I think you're right. It's a combination of things.
Yeah.
But we need to get over it because I do think everyone's ranting and raving about City. Okay, my in-laws are massive City fans. You know, whenever I'm in England, they take me to the Etihad, and I like watching City as well. I can't stand Guardiola. Absolutely can't stand him. But anyway, that's beside the point. We'll talk about him another time. Okay, but I think that when they do come up against us, I've got a feeling we're going to beat them. And I think that it will be between us and them because I think that Mourinho's United will start to have draws. Okay, they will, and I don't think they'll last the pace. But Chelsea, I think there are issues there, 100%. I don't know what's going on. I watched the highlights yesterday, and their heads were down. I mean, they drew through with Roma. Roma should have won that game. So they seem to have issues. So I think it will be between us and City. And if we don't get this thing right, then we're in trouble.
Well, we need to steal De Bruyne.
Well, if we take him out of their team, they're a nothing team.
Well, exactly. De Bruyne has been the player of the season so far.
Yeah.
Statistically, everything. He's just been everything he touches has turned to goal this year.
Hold on, there's a Rottweiler. Come here, Darius.
Hello.
The boys are supposed to be looking after him, and look, he's just.
Hello.
He's scared of you. Yeah, unfortunately, he never got the memo that he's a Rottweiler. We'll take pictures and put him on Twitter. So I think that City will come unstuck against us, and I'm not just saying that because of what happened last season, where we demolished them 2-0, and then we should have got run off the park at the end. We should have lost. How we got away with a 2-2 draw was beyond me, but I think that Guardiola is bricking it.
Well, last year, didn't they go 10 games and everybody was saying this is the best team they've ever seen, and then all of a sudden it went to pot.
Yeah.
And we don't know whether this is not going to happen again this year. Currently, it doesn't look like it will.
I think it will. It
doesn't look like it will at the moment.
You know what? I've seen them play. I was there at the Etihad when they played Everton. Okay, they could not break down quite a bad Everton team. They couldn't break them down.
Yeah. Because
what Everton did is they sort of said, right, you come at us then.
Yeah.
And as they were trying to come at them, they were then trying to hit them on the break. And that's how we have to do it with them. I don't know when we play them, we'll probably play them in the next 2 months.
I think that's going to be a natural thing anyway.
But I think that at the Etihad we're going to beat them. I do have this feeling we're going to beat them there. Okay? Because Guardiola has this thing with Poch. He really does. You know, the thing that he said recently about, you know, Harry Kane's, you know, the Harry Kane team.
Yeah.
You have all the journalists coming out. I heard him on Sunday Supplement on Sky saying, you know, he didn't mean anything by it. You plebs. Of course he meant something by it. He is bricking it. I've said it before.
He's playing mind games.
Yeah, of course he is. And you know what? Pochettino basically, he called him out on it. And well done to him.
All the mind games now turned around because they're saying, oh, well, last game against Real Madrid, it was Lloris as well.
What?
That showed
the thing
it.
Is we have
and
to
then
be
at
that.
Bournemouth, it was Eriksen who scored.
Yeah, but we have to be that type of team. I want us to have some teeth.
Our problem is, I think at Wembley, definitely, as we're going back, to the previous
point.
I
wanted us to go back to it now.
We need to find a way to break teams down. Whether it is to draw them out from that defensive line that they're holding all the time, whether it's keep that ball moving. There was a piece of play on where there was like on the right hand side of the pitch.
What team?
No, it was the previous game where it was a cracking goal, 2-3 touches, and the ball went in. It was with Dele Alli.
It was against Huddersfield, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Where it was all one-touch football.
Yeah.
And it didn't actually go in. No, that's right. Eriksen went to shoot, and it was, it came to Davis. Davis scored it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the kind of football we should be playing.
But that's Huddersfield, and we've got Liverpool.
Yeah.
So
we can do that with Liverpool. How can we not do that with Liverpool?
Well, how do you think we're going to line up against Liverpool?
The lineup?
Yeah. What do you think we're going to do?
Well, you've got to think Pochettino. You've got to use Pochettino's brain now.
Does he put Trippier in, or does he play with Aurier?
I was surprised Aurier played, even on Tuesday.
I think he's a big game player, though.
I think he's got more pace. That's why he put him in.
Yeah.
That was the only reason in the end, which was a good idea, a good decision, apart from the fact he gave with the penalty. But I think he's likely to play Trippier because of the quality of his crosses. Just amazing. I think he's probably going to go back to the team that he played against with Bournemouth.
You think so?
I think so, yeah. But I don't know. Let's hope he's going to do something again to surprise us.
Right.
Maybe he's going to put Llorente in there again because he knows how weak the Liverpool defence is, and if he does that, they're just going to be completely thrown. They will have no idea how to defend against us, and will probably. And they are also a team that plays on confidence.
Yeah.
And I think if we just screw with their brains a bit, it's going to throw them completely.
Predictions then.
Previous years, I'd have gone for a high-scoring game. This year, I think it's going to be, I don't know, maybe 2-0 Spurs.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I've got a feeling it's going to be 4-3.
No, I don't think so.
Let me have my prediction then. I think it's going to be 4-3, and I think it's going to probably start off slowly, but then really increase in the second half. And I think that what will happen is they played in Slovenia. I think, all right, we played in Madrid, but I've got a feeling that they're not as fit as they want to be at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's our fitness that will do them. And I think that's why we'll probably end up winning. With regards to lineups, I have absolutely no idea what Poch's going to do. I've got a feeling that Trippier might play, which I think would be a mistake against. Who would be?
But Mane's not.
Their left?
Mane's not playing.
Yeah,
so
right, maybe
it would be Moreno, Coutinho, Firmino, possibly drifting out to the left. On the right hand side, I think he may play. If Davis isn't fit, he may play Vertonghen again.
Yeah.
But I think defensively, I can't see us conceding 3 goals against them. No. Unless you were saying 4 to them, which is even more unlikely.
No.
Okay.
I think we're going to win.
Okay.
I really hope so, so I don't want us to. On the next
I
show,
know. I think we're.
About us
We're pessimistic enough as Spurs fans as it is, let alone doing a show and being really down. We'll have a few beers then just to cheer ourselves up, and then it won't be a show after all in the end. Anyhow, it'll just be a karaoke session.
Exactly. Right, so that's it. That's the first show done. How
cool.
do you feel?
I feel okay. Just felt like we were having a chat.
Well, hopefully it's recorded.
Yeah. We shall see.
Right, so what we would like you to do is follow us on Twitter. You can do @Hotspur Way Show. And
will that be when will the hotspurway.com be ready? Because I looked at the website this week and it's contradicting itself.
So hotspurway.com will be ready by next week.
Okay.
I just need to do a few more things.
It's supposed to have been ready 2 weeks ago, by the way. And it still says that on the website. At least remove that line.
I will remove this. I'm so busy. So that's it then. Cheers for listening and come on you Spurs.
Yeah, laters guys.
Bye-bye.